Hello and welcome to my channel, guys. Today I want to talk about a topic that is often glamorized in the world of personal development and self-improvement. It's the idea that if you just work hard enough, if you grind a little bit harder, if you hustle a little bit more, you can just become anything that you want to be. Now, what if I told you that despite of the fact that there is a partial truth to this, having this mindset can actually make things worse? It's actually holding you back. What if I told you that there is a dark side in the world of self-improvement that is rarely talked about? Well, that is something that I would like to explore today, because I know that if you're watching this channel right now, you're just like me, you're just constantly trying to improve. So if you're a person who feels like they're never really good enough, if you feel like you're constantly chasing that next thing, some elusive standard of how your life is supposed to look like and what your definition is of success and happiness and how you're still so far away from it, guess what? You're not alone. The self-improvement industry is a multi-billion-dollar behemoth, and it's not hard to see why. Like, everybody is always looking for things to be better, to feel better, to have better things, and we're just constantly striving. But have you ever considered for a moment that it's actually making things worse? So in today's video, I basically want to go over 3 points why I believe self-improvement can be very dangerous if you don't pay attention to it closely. Reason number 1, the perfectionism trap. The first way that self-improvement can hold you back is through this constant need to have everything perfect. It's easy to fall into this belief that you have to be perfect in order to be successful, happy, or even worthy of love. But the truth is that perfectionism really is a myth. And I'm telling you first-handedly, like in all my vulnerability, this is something that I really struggled with. For a very long time, I was always occupied with looking how to get things perfect, to think about and consider every little detail before I would start doing something, before I would put myself into action mode. But the truth is that no one is perfect. It's unattainable. It's an elusive standard that regardless of how much you try, you can never really attain. So striving for perfectionism as a counterintuitive result can lead to anxiety, it can lead to increased depression and burnouts. So instead of focusing on perfectionism, focus on making progress. Because when you focus on making progress, it's about trying to improve 1% at a time. Right? I'm starting this YouTube channel right now. If you're looking at me right now, I haven't made that many videos, so maybe this video isn't that great. But me trying to focus on 1% better for each video will result into much better results than trying to get that first video perfect, because chances are, if that would still be my mindset today, that first video would have never come out. So try to focus on progress instead of perfectionism. The second reason why I think self-improvement can be very dangerous is because it's very easy to fall into the trap of comparison, like the comparison game, right? You look at people who are doing better than you, and as a result, you kind of like, you still get a drive, you still get motivated, but the place you're coming from is pain. Now, the last thing that I'm going to say is that pain cannot be a good motivator, because it actually can be. I think it was Alex Hormozy who said, if you don't have anything else to use as motivation, there is always enough pain, right? Everybody has pain. Everybody has something, some experience that they went through that they would have much rather have prevented, whether that was a breakup, poverty, whether you were bullied in high school, whether you had a point to prove to your parents. Everybody has something that if they really think about it, they get really sad or angry. And although this is an amazing way to start to get the engine running, it is not a good idea to keep the engine going, because regardless of how much progress you make, you will still carry this resentment. You will still have this feeling of bitterness, because things can always be better, right? So we're bombarded with images of perfect all the time on social media. We look around and we see people doing things and having things that we don't have. We immediately fall into this trap that thinking that that is how it's supposed to be. The last thing that I want to do on my channel is to discourage people from going after their dreams or going after the things that they want. But I do want to give a disclaimer that it is very likely that once you get to that point, your feelings will not change, because you're always just looking for that next hit. So this usually leads to this never-ending cycle of self-improvement that never really gets us anywhere, right? So instead, we need to learn to be content with who we are and focus on the things that truly matter in life. The way I see this is that there is a way to self-improve coming from a place that no longer needs to improve. And I think this is a very nice way to reconcile self-actualization with self-acceptance. If you have difficulties accepting yourself right now, in the way you are right now, despite of your hustle, despite of your hard work, despite of you having the right mindset, going to the gym and doing the right things, chances are that once you get to those, pivotal points, or let's say milestones, you're still going to have and struggle with the same feelings. So if you're occupied trying to become successful because you have a point to prove towards your ex-girlfriend, for example, chances are that you're still going to feel that resentment towards her once you have achieved all of those things. So stop comparing yourself to other people. Look for ways to focus on your own grind, even if it means you have to turn it down a bit on your social media consumption. One of the things that I personally did that helped me tremendously, I just started to mute stories from people that were constantly in my face. I started to unfollow everybody that wasn't adding any value to my mindset, to the things that I wanted to see. I just stopped scrolling endlessly through stories and through my feed. I stopped liking just random pictures of hot girls laying on the beach somewhere in Ibiza. Like, I stopped doing all those things because I realized that every time I saw one of those things and I started to engage with it, I started to become more bitter, and my energy just started to turn into anger and hate, and I just did not want to be that person. So for this reason, I think self-improvement can be very dangerous. If you want to self-improve, focus on the self and not other people. The third way self-improvement can hold you back is through the self-improvement treadmill, right? It's this idea that there is always a new goal that we need to go after. It's easy to get caught up in the belief that there is always something else that we need to achieve. Especially us men, everything that we do is about achievement, right? And so there is a very thin line that we have to be aware of, because I know for a fact that when I'm not progressing in life, I'm not being happy. It really is true what Tony Robbins said so many times. Progress equals happiness, because you're either growing or you're dying. And to a very large extent, that is definitely the case, right? The moment you feel like you don't have anything else to work on, you start feeling those feelings of depression and anxiety and just feeling unfulfilled in general. However, what a lot of people are missing in their self-improvement journey is some recognition for how far they've already come. Right? Everybody's so extremely harsh on yourself. And again, this is something that sounds so counterintuitive, but I've always believed that beating myself up always had the opposite effect. And so learning to be kind to yourself, to have some level of self-acceptance, and also just being content in, what you got right now, where you are right now, the apartment that you're living in. Hell, even if you live in your mom's basement, but you're still working towards your goals, that's amazing. Congratulations. Now, obviously, I'm not encouraging you to stay there, but you have to understand that achieving long-term success it's exactly that. It's long-term. So you have to see and look at the bigger picture. And I know that a lot of people, when they are just starting out, they already have these extremely high expectations in a very short period of time, and everything needs to happen quickly. And so instead of constantly running after things and chasing, look for ways to attract. And the difference is that when you attract, you just come from a place of interest and curiosity. When I'm talking about these subjects right now, I'm not sitting here like, oh, this is what I have to talk about today. No, this is a subject that I'm genuinely interested in and curious about, and I'm genuinely interested in helping other men, especially young men, to do the right things, to help you grow, to help you navigate towards your goals, because I know how difficult it is in a society in which a lot of people, including myself, never really had a male role model in their life. How a lot of young men just don't know how to talk to a girl, just don't know how to stick to a good habit, don't know how to get their financials straight, don't know basic financial literacy. And so if I were to do this from a place of resentment, I wouldn't be able to maintain it, and I wouldn't be having this calm energy, this sense of peace that I carry with me when I'm talking to you. Okay guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I know everybody always asks for a thumbs up, subscribe, but again, this is what we need to grow a channel with like-minded individuals and to reach more people to see the message that they need to be seeing. If you want to see more content as well, just keep an eye on my Instagram, on my TikTok. It's Hisham Sutu. You can find it in the description. I always try to come up with the latest insights. And so if you have any thoughts or questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.